Here's something I wanted to show you. I'm all done with my first coat, and I'm gonna let it dry a little bit longer. Okay, so I don't really want to rinse this out. I could rinse it out, but see, if I rinse this out, then I'm gonna have to wait until this dries all the way before I get into it with my paint again. So I've got some plastic here, and it's just from a plastic bag. And I already used it for my roller. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it up in this plastic. I'm going to put a little bit more paint on here. On the edge, all the way up on the bristles. And now I'm going to wrap that right here. Just that far, that's it. And I'm going to push on it and make sure it's tight, okay? And I can leave that, boom, right like that for 15-20 minutes until I'm ready to start cutting in again, okay? That way the bristles aren't going to be wet, and I couldn't just leave that out in the air for 15-20 minutes or half an hour. It would get all dry. So if I cleaned it all off, you can see how, because there's so many bristles in that, it would take quite a while for it to dry. And it wouldn't be a good idea to say, it's dry enough, it's still wet, I'm going to put it in my paint and start cutting in again. Well, it's going to knock your paint, body of your paint down, and once you get ready to put your second coat on, maybe your second coat doesn't cover all the way for the first wall or so, and that's because your paintbrush is still wet. Now see, I went ahead and I painted the edge of this. I'm going to take you off up here, and I painted the top of that edge, and that was still the tan color of the walls because they didn't paint it white, and then it was kind of a dirty white from before, the door frames, and because I painted all the new frames, I wanted it as white as possible to give a standout from the walls and to make the baseboard and the trim and the door casings and the doors kind of pop. It's almost the same color as the light switches, see? And so that's another reason why I wanted to paint that edge. And see, I got it all the way up there. It's nice. That's only one coat, but had I have done really super good, some of that paint would be on the wall no matter what, and especially down here. I was able to get it in there and kind of pooch it in at an angle, but you can see how I'm over that far. Now, if I didn't have the masking tape, I would be that far over when I get ready to cut in the wall color. I might be able to get all the cut-in done on one coat because I was able to do all the walls in one coat, but as it was on the top, I had to put two coats. If the ceiling would have been white to begin with, I could have gotten by with just one coat. Even if it was a flat white, I might have been able to get by with one coat with one coat of semi-gloss. But because if I would have put that on there, instead of cutting in once on this wall around the door, I'd probably have to cut it in twice. Do you see what I'm saying? Or 3 times, depending how thick you get it on there. Okay? And so now it's just about a waiting game to see how long I'm going to have to wait. And see, I'll get you up there. See, no matter what I do, there's no way I could have cut that in with one coat of paint. There's just no way that would have happened. And that's okay. You know, get up there and put a second coat on there and it should be fine. Now if it on the second coat, if there's still a little bit of that showing, then after I get done cutting it in, then I would look at it, and if I decided I needed to put just a little bit more, maybe I could dip my paintbrush in and kind of wipe on there. But hey, I'll do whatever I have to get rid of that line when I get done cutting in, because I've got that masking tape on. You saw it didn't take me that long to cut this in. Okay, it's just waiting, and I'll probably wait 15-20 minutes or so and check it out. Should I put my cover on top of that? I probably should have, but I'm gonna leave it like that. I'll turn my construction light off, because the more light in here, the more heat, and then this could start drying up. I don't want to put any skin in there. And what I could do is I could have cleaned this out with my paintbrush and put most of it back in there. You know, but I'm gonna leave it in the shade. I'll leave it in the shade over there, and I think that's gonna be okay. And you know what? That's gonna thicken up just a little bit, and I might need just a hair more thickness to it when I'm installing that second coat, so I don't have to put a third coat on. See, when you're cutting in semi-gloss to semi-gloss, it's hard to get a good coverage like flat to flat or eggshell to eggshell, because your paint wants to slide. And because the ceiling was a semi-gloss already, there's only so much paint you can put on with a paintbrush as opposed to a roller at any one time. Does that make sense? So I'll let this fully dry, put another coat on this whole thing, and I'll wait a little bit, and then I'll have my construction light on. It's important to have light on there to make sure that everything's blended in. If you think you need to put a little bit more on, a third coat, put a third coat on there. Doesn't take that long to put it up, and you can do it, and it's going to be nice because you've got the masking tape up there. All right. Now, I haven't been off the ceiling very long at all from that last little video clip. And I felt the paint in the corner where I started, right in there. And it's virtually dry to the touch right now. I could, if I was in a big old rush, I could start again and go there and work that back wall and then come out this way and, you know, work it back the same way that I did before and probably be okay. But because I'm not in that big of a rush, I'm going to give it probably another, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. And because you saw, I'm only putting on that much, and you can only put on so much semi-gloss over semi-gloss. And when you're doing the cut-in, you'd be surprised how short of a time it really takes before that stuff starts skinning up and drying. You don't have to wait until the paint is dry on the back side all the way, but you want the front to be nice and dry to the touch so that the top skin that's showing is dry. Then you can put your second coat on. Do you see what I mean? Because even when you use semi-gloss paint, when you're painting door frames and stuff, is there a right and wrong way to paint door frames? Yes, of course there is. Because there's so many edges and nooks and crannies and lines and all that kind of stuff. You can't just start in one spot and then think you're gonna, I'm just gonna do the whole frame from here all the way over, and I'm gonna start right here and come down. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work. You can't blend your paint in properly and all that, because semi-gloss paint, once you get it up there, you'd be surprised how long, less of a time you have it up there before you can not blend it in anymore with the paintbrush before it starts wanting to drag. And if you've ever painted door frames, semi-gloss, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, I've got a video that shows you how to paint door frames on my channel. If you go to my main channel page, click on playlists, scroll down to painting, and it'll be in there somewhere. All my painting videos will be there, as a matter of fact. Okay? Because, hey, whenever I do a job, I want to do it right. And more times than not, I make videos of it and post it on my channel under the painting, because I never know what I'm going to say next, what's going to be included and what's not going to be included. Okay? So look for them on my channel, and if you want to be a better painter, or if you don't know how to paint at all and you've got a bathroom to paint, or a bedroom to paint, or a door casing to paint, or a door, let's say just a door to paint, I'll show you how to paint those, or the baseboards, how to get the baseboards looking nice and pretty, or window stools and aprons, or the top of this. Is there a right and wrong way to paint this? Absolutely. The right and wrong way to do just about anything. Okay? So I'll be back to you in a little bit, and I'm going to do the second coat here, and I'm going to wait, like I said, another 15 minutes, and I'll put this second coat on. Be right back to you.